My fellow movie geeks, what is up? Meg the Geek here, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 5 movies from 2020. Let's go. Alright, now fair warning, this is not your typical Oscar-winning, Best Picture type of list. Anybody who knows me knows that I am always the left field type of girl. If the only options are A, B, C, I will always choose D, because why follow the crowd when I can have my own personal opinion? Just like you probably won't agree with these films, or at least I hope you kind of do, but let's have some discussions in the comments. But here we go. Kicking things off at number 5, we have The King of Staten Island. So even though this wasn't Pete Davidson's first feature film, this movie really gave him a chance to shine as a leading man. Sure, it was semi-autobiographical since it was kind of based on his life and he could easily get into character, but it made people look at Pete in a whole new light, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for his career, both in comedy and in film. Number 4, we have Freaky with Vince Vaughn and Kathryn Newton. It's your modern day hot chick mixed with the Parent Trap, mixed with the slasher, and it works so well. I am not a fan of Vince Vaughn at all, but holy crap, can he play a teenage girl well. A little too well, but that's a story for another day. Freaky was the perfect blend of comedy and horror, and it gave me total Happy Death Day vibes, which makes sense because they're both from Blumhouse. The blood and gore was spot on, and it's one of those movies I hope definitely does not get a sequel because it can absolutely stand on its own as a solid film. At number 3, we have Birds of Prey. Now, I love this movie. I am glad Harley Quinn got her own solo film because Margot Robbie kills it time and time again. My biggest issue with this movie is that it was titled Birds of Prey, and obviously, Harley Quinn's name is in there too, but there should have been more Birds of Prey. Like, the entire cast shone so bright, and we unfortunately didn't get they didn't get the screen time, I should say, that they deserved. But I still have my fingers crossed that one day we will get a sequel because it ended perfectly for it and it set it up perfectly. But can we just talk about the egg sandwich scene for a second? Like, every single time I watch that scene, I always want to go out and get a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich from my favorite place down the street. But it always winds up being at like 10 o'clock at night when they're closed, and I will not make that myself because there's no way I could pull it off. And I'm really rambling here, but let me get back on track. And I can't talk about Birds of Prey without talking about the hair tie scene. Anybody with long hair, like myself, will understand this issue. Like, movies always have anybody with long hair fighting, letting the hair get in their face, and it's never an issue. This movie did it perfectly with giving a hair tie. It was a simple nod that lasted like 20 seconds tops, but it was just brilliant. It just showed that the director really paid attention to movies in the past and that girls in real life would never fight with long hair. They would always pull their hair back. Number 2. Okay, this is where the debate is really going to start coming in, and I know I'm going to get some heat for this in the comments. Wonder Woman 1984. I know, it didn't do as well as Wonder Woman did, but this movie, I love it. Wonder Woman is my favorite DC character. Gal Gadot does a phenomenal job. Patty Jenkins, amazing director. I'm actually probably going to make a giant video about why I love Wonder Woman and why it does not deserve the crap that it got on another video. But for now, we're just going to keep this short. The best scene in the entire movie is with the invisible jets with her and Steve Trevor, because it's just absolutely brilliant. And I read some theories about how Patty Jenkins kind of took that from her own life, her own stories, and incorporated it into the film. I don't know how true that is. If it is true, it just made the scene that much more beautiful. Sure, it didn't exactly have the same emotional punch and the same impact as the first Wonder Woman did, and I really wish we got to see Kristen Wiig more in the movie because her as Cheetah, she did a great job. And it really did well because she usually does comedy, so her in more of a serious role, it really did it well. I just wish we got to see more of her. But we'll see what happens in the third Wonder Woman movie. I know we most likely won't see Cheetah because with Linda Carter. Probably should have thrown a spoiler alert on there, but whatever. It's been out for like 8 months now, so whatever. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens with the third movie. Last but not least, we got number 1 with The Hunt. Now with The Hunt, it's definitely one of those movies I feel like was a sleeper hit of 2020. It's definitely a movie where it's getting a cult classic status and it has a cult following. I have been following this movie for a long time, basically from even before it was canceled last year, and now of course obviously it was brought back, and I was so happy to see that. Another reason I also really love this movie is a friend of mine was actually in it, Jason Kirkpatrick, who was also in The Walking Dead. So go check it out. Go check out his scenes. He was in season 9. The movie was just great. Betty Gilpin, which I'm probably butchering her name, was a phenomenal lead. And the best part of the entire movie was the first like 20 to 30 minutes where you had no clue what the hell was happening. You had the likes of Emma Roberts, Justin Hartley, Ike Barinholtz. You have no clue what's happening, why it's happening, and it's just, you think they're going to be in the movie for the long haul, next thing you know, blown up. And it's just, from the get-go, like they hit the ground running with that movie because you have no clue from start to finish what's going to happen in the next scene or in the next minute, mind you. This is definitely another movie where I hope does not get a sequel because it is one of those movies that can perfectly stand on its own. Alright guys, those are my top 5 movies of 2020. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with anything that I said? Do you disagree? Tell me why. However, do not bash me for my opinion because I'm entitled to mine and you are entitled to yours. As always, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit those follow buttons. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more movie related content, some Walking Dead content, some Power Ranger content, some video game content, and I just gotta literally, I have a whole notebook full of ideas that I want to come out with. So stay tuned and let your geek flags fly high, and I'll see you next time.